Today I'm going to tell you how I shot this video for my friend's clothing line using my Sony FX3. If you haven't seen the video yet, I'm going to go ahead and play it right now for you.
Fashion has always been a part of my life, and designing allows me to quiet my thoughts and focus on creativity. In a lot of ways, it's like working out. Working out takes me out of my mind and into my body. Whatever I'm thinking about, I absorb it and let it all out into my workouts. Forcing myself to concentrate on one single task enables me to become immersed in a situation and truly unwind. Losing myself in my art and my workouts heals me. What heals you?
All right, so my first step in this whole process, I designed pretty much a mood board on Milanote. I'm gonna show it here. You can see I reference a couple videos. There's some Danny Gavertz videos, and at the time, Dior was putting out some really cool videos about this boxer. And then the next thing you'll see is I made a rough shot list. It definitely helps to have an idea of some shots you want to get heading into it. Once I had everything organized in Milanote and picked out all my locations and kind of had like a rough shot list and everything, it was time to start shooting. So the first scene you'll see here is Danny running down the street and basically just waited until golden hour, sat in the back of my friend's Camry, and we just did a couple takes. I shot this part at 4K 60 because I knew I was gonna slow it down in post. Scene 2 was the sewing shots, and I found this image from a James Bond movie on Shot Deck. I really liked it and I wanted to try and replicate the lighting. So we had a 300D set up outside, just blasting through the blinds to create these light rays. We filled the room with a bunch of haze, and then you'll see we have another 300D over here. And this one we just had a regular softbox on it, but we actually threw a couple 5-in-1 reflectors to kind of control the light. And then the last thing we did was we placed an aperture MC inside this lamp to kind of motivate where the light was coming from. And then once we had that all set up, I just grabbed a bunch of different shots of Danny sewing. The next scene is Danny just sitting on these steps and he's tying up his hands with these wraps. This one was honestly just really simple. I liked the way that the steps looked in this brick building, and then the yellow, I thought it was a really good contrast of colors. And then I had my friend Tony stand off to the side and just hold a pavo tube on him for some fill and give a little bit more contrast to the scene. All right, after that, we moved him to this building that was honestly right next to the steps. These are just some old warehouses in Akron. I found this one and there was like some smoke blowing outside, so I thought that would be cool in the background. Just had him do basically like 5 or 10 minutes of shadow boxing. I grabbed some wides, some mediums, some tights, and we actually ran 2 cameras here. We ran one at 24 frames per second and then one at 120 frames per second so we could slow it down. And then I actually had this idea that I wanted to do this effect where he punches it and I use a slow shutter. This was like hit or miss. I got some feedback that people like this. I got some feedback that people didn't love this. I don't know, I guess it's just a creative decision. At the end of the day, I liked it. I thought it was a cool effect. Then probably my favorite part of this video is where I show slow-mo of the sewing machine, and then I time that up with the sounds of the jump rope. And I did that because the whole point of this video was to show how Danny uses sewing and making clothes and working out to escape and kind of break away from his mind. And that's the whole point of his brand, which is what heals you. Those two things heal him, and then at the end of the video, you see he says, what heals you? And he wants you to find basically just what heals you in life. After we shot everything, we went back and had Danny read the script separately. Honestly, he didn't love this part. You could probably hear it in his voice. He was just so over it. But all in all, I thought the video turned out really cool. This is definitely my favorite project to date. Let me know in the comments if you learned anything or picked up anything new, or if there's anything you would have done differently. I mean, I'm always open to feedback, but I hope you took something away from this video.